This is the first of the Tao Te Ching Chats. I am so excited uh, for this. It is one of the things that I love the most. It's just kind of talking with people about the Tao. If you are listening and want to come in and pick a number between 1 and 81, I would love to have you on to chat a little bit about the Tao. I see that we are just starting this, and I'm hoping to do this every week. I have a number of different translations at my disposal, and I would love to chat with you about what the Tao has in store for you today. So the Tao is a great writing by Lao Tzu. And it is old, and I don't know how old it is. I should probably have that information, but I currently don't. And the Tao it translates to the canon of reason. And the great thing about that is it itself is not based in religion. It's not based in anything other than reason. It's like if you want to live a healthy life, the Tao is probably a good place to learn a couple things about yourself and about what is going on around you and what the motivation is for some people to do what they do. I would really love to chat with anybody that is on to see if this is something that they would be interested in. I'm going to go ahead and pick a number and then read it and just kind of talk about it to myself here. But if anybody wants to come on and pick a number, Daniel, I see you just joined. This is a talk where I'm going to be doing this every week. I'm going to be chatting about the Tao Te Ching, and my desire is that people join me and give me a number. Pick a number between 1 and 81. We'll read that together and talk about the Tao. If anybody is up for having a conversation about a certain chapter of the Tao, I would love to have you on. So anybody that's listening, please just come on and pick a number between 1 and 81. There are 81 verses in the Tao Te Ching, and you're going to pick one and we're going to go through it and we're going to see how that relates to our lives and how we might be able to translate it a little bit. If you guys don't pick a number soon, if nobody comes on to join me to pick a number, I'll go ahead and pick one, but love sharing this with other people. So if you're interested in picking a number for your Tao for the day, Tao of the day, we could call it, or the Tao Te Ching chats. I like the chit chat sort of reference there. So if you're interested in joining me right now and picking a number between 1 and 81, please do. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and pick number 44. And what 44 has is fame or integrity. Which is more important? Money or happiness? Which is more valuable? Success or failure? Which is more destructive? If you look to others for fulfillment, you will never be truly fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. If anybody wants to join me, I am doing. I want to read a couple of the. If anybody wants to pick a number between 1 and 81, come on and join me, and I'll read the chapter of the Tao that relates to. I just read chapter 44, and it is actually, this is such a beautifully put verse in the Tao. When it asks these initial questions, it starts with these initial questions: fame or integrity, which is more important? Let's think about that right now, right? Like, let's look at the world as we have it right now and as it exists, and can we like how succinct, right? Fame or integrity, which is more important? And to think about that and to really delve into ourself and say, which is more important to me, fame or integrity? Man, it's such a beautiful way of putting it. And I don't want to tell you your answer, so I'm not going to say which is more important to me, but I do want, I love the idea that it starts with these three big questions. And then the next one is money or happiness. Which is more valuable? Man, and put so beautifully. And this, I should say that this is the Stephen Mitchell version. Stephen Mitchell is Byron Katie's husband, I do believe. And what a beautiful way of putting this, right? Money or happiness, which is more valuable? And if I'm on here and nobody wants to pick a number, I will go to another translation and see how they relate. But success or failure, which is more destructive? Wow. What a great way of putting it, right? Success or failure. Like the way that they ask these questions, which is more important when it comes to fame or integrity, which is more valuable when it comes to money or happiness, which is more destructive when it comes to success or failure. I mean, failure, of course, there is productive failure. We have created an environment, and we have created a school system and an economic environment in which failure can be very destructive, especially if one doesn't experience failure throughout their lives. But if we think about a life lived through both having an equal amount of success and failure, we could definitely understand what those look like, and what that means, and why Stephen Mitchell decided to use the word destructive in this place, and in place of the comparison between success and failure. So the next line states, if you look to others for fulfillment, you will never be truly fulfilled, right? Because when that person dies, or if that person no longer wants to agree to that which you need for fulfillment, they won't be there. Once again, I'm doing Tao Te Ching chats, which is I would love somebody to come on and choose a number between 1 and 81, and we can go through the chapter of the Tao together. I chose number 44, which talks about, it starts with 3 questions: fame or integrity, which is more important; money or happiness, which is more valuable; success or failure, which is more destructive. Now we're getting into like this next section, which states, if you look to others for fulfillment, you will never be truly fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. I just wanted to land, right. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. That doesn't mean that if you have money you won't be happy, but like if it depends on it, what does your happiness do? And if your happiness depends on anything other than your awareness, or yourself, then happiness may just be outside of reach. The third stanza to this, or the third part of this, says, be content with what you have, rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. Now, this is the Tao Te Ching Chats. I'm going to be doing this every week. I invite you to come on, join me, and pick a number between 1 and 81, and we'll read that verse of the Tao. I really appreciate people sharing and sharing with people the Tao. The Tao Te Ching is it's an ancient text, I would call it. It's an old text that predates the Bible, and I believe, and it is about living in reason and understanding how we live day to day. So this last part of chapter 44, verse 44 that I read was, be content with what you have, rejoice in the way things are. If I wasn't content when I got diagnosed with MS and was bedridden for a month, it would have been very difficult for me to ever get out of bed. And it wasn't anger that got me out. It was a contentness, and it was a, hey, this is the way things are right now, and they may never change. I had to really embrace the idea that I may never walk again. It may not come back. My doctors told me as much. So I do walk, and I have all the motor function on my left side again, but 80% of that was missing when I had a flare up. So the final 2 lines of this is, when you realize that there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. That's such a beautiful way of looking at it. When there is nothing lacking, when you realize there is nothing lacking, you have everything right now, and there is nothing that you lack. and the whole world belongs to you. So beautiful. And I wanted to ask if anybody wants to come on and pick a number from 1 to 81. I want you to come on and tell me a number. We'll go through that Tao together, and maybe it'll resonate with you. This is Tao Te Ching Chats. I am doing these. I'm probably going to do them every week, maybe every Monday at 2. I don't know. That is that may be something I do, but I love sharing the Tao. I love chatting with people, especially when it comes to topics that are covered in the Tao. Once again, this was chapter 44 that I chose. Fame or integrity, which is more important? And these are good for me right now because I do have to make sure that I keep in mind these big questions that chapter 44 references, right? Fame or integrity, which is more important? Money or happiness, which is more valuable? Success or failure, which is more destructive? Those are huge questions, and those are questions that's the way that Stephen Mitchell translated the Tao back in, I believe it was 95 or 96, something around there. So yeah, if you want to come on, I implore you, come on, give me a number between 1 and 81. I would love to go through another Tao chapter. And if you have a desire, if you have a number that's coming to mind, come on, be my guest. Give me a number between 1 and 81, and we'll go through that chapter of the Tao. The Tao is an old text that all revolves around reason and living in the world with reason. So if anyone wants to come on, I see that we have Jose. Jose, this is the Tao, man. I'm sure you dig the Tao. Come on, join me, and let's give me a number between 1 and 81. I really like to share this with somebody. Shay McAllister, is that right? McMaster, Shay McMaster. Tamani, Pavel, Jimmy, Mark. Like, I got great people on, and I would love to share this with you. Let's see who's got Jose. You're gonna do it. I'm so happy. Thank you. I want you to just yes. Jose, my man. Thank you. Do I gotcha? You gotta put on your speaker or something. I'm not hearing you. Oh, am I? No, I'm here. Jose, I can't hear you. I'm gonna do something that I don't want to do, and that's put you out. You did it yourself. You got it yourself. Yeah, I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on there. But if you if you can come on and pick a number between 1 and 81. Paul came in. Jose, sit tight, and we're gonna get a number from Paul and see what he's got. Jose, I do want to have you on. Paul, how you doing, man?
How are you? 1 second. Put my. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Okay.
I can hear you so well. I'm turning my volume down.
All right. Wonderful. So I haven't been listening, so I will let you guys bring me up to speed.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the Tao Te Ching Chats, as I'm calling them. And once a week, I want to come on and I want to ask people to pick a number between 1 and 81. So give me a number.
Okay. So instinctively, I don't know why, but I was thinking of 7.
Which one?
So what was the numbers between? Sorry.
Oh, 1 and 81.
Okay. So I said 7.
7. Okay. So this is the Tao Te Ching. Have you ever heard of the Tao Te Ching?
No, I haven't.
Okay, the Tao Te Ching is a book that was translated by many, many people. It's an ancient book, and it translates to the canon of reason. So it is all about living within reason and living within reason with other people. So the Tao that you chose, I'm going to read it to you. The Tao is infinite and eternal. Why is it eternal? It was never born. Thus, it can never die. Why is it infinite? It has no desires for itself. Thus, it is present for all beings. The master stays behind. That is why she is ahead. She is detached from all things. That is why she is one with them. Because she has let go of herself, she is perfectly fulfilled. So what about that resonates with you?
So it's quite a lot to translate and to sort of understand.
Did any line specifically jump out and sit in your mind?
Yeah, something along the lines of some. This isn't. I'm potentially not paraphrasing this, getting this exactly correct, but something along the lines because she's behind, she's present, or something like that.
Yeah, I'll reread that little part. The master stays behind. That is why she is ahead. So we'll just look at that.
Okay.
What does that signify to you, or what does that mean, or where do you have confusion about that, or like what sparks inside of you when you hear that?
It's more intrigue. So when I hear that, I'm almost thinking of somebody that's got deep insights. So they've got that confidence to stay behind and sort of take a more of a holistic view over something, whereby having that holistic view gives them a bigger appreciation of the situation, as opposed to when we can be a little bit gung-ho and try and be, I don't know, at the forefront of something, when sometimes when we're a bit gung-ho, we kind of can not really see the bigger picture. That makes sense.
Yes, it does. Yeah, like this is like, so I'm going to read it again. The master stays behind. That is why she is ahead. Like, she's not trying to put herself in front of anybody. She's open to hearing.
Yeah.
Right? So we have this wisdom app right now, right? And we're here learning and listening and hearing each other. Yeah. But if we're out here on wisdom just trying to get my point heard, get out in front, are we going to be heard? No, because we're not learning. But here is where it says, like, that is why she is ahead, because she's open to learning. She's open to hearing. Because she's not trying to put herself ahead of anybody. She's staying behind, as it references here. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
And you can very easily interpret this very differently as well. Would you like to? I don't know if you want to run away, or if you want to like look at this next line where it says she is detached. Look at the next line. She is detached from all things. That is why she is one with them.
That's interesting.
So I see that. Go on, please, if you have an idea.
So the detachment means, so I'm sort of gauging, because she's detached, she's open to,
right.
Because if we're attached to something, it almost means, well, my interpretation of when we're attached, we've almost got an angle, a position. But if we're not attached, then we come with an open canvas to sort of to experience and to digest what's put before us, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. So I see this the same way, where it's like, if you are detached from, let's say you're detached, let's say you have a good friend and they come out as trans. If you were attached to your friend being male, let's say, and they came out as trans, would you be able to be supportive of that completely? But by being detached from who they are and just loving them for who they are right now, you're so much more able to be at one with them and be there while they're going through their transition and be a good friend, right? Like
Yeah.
the minute you have a definition of something, you are attached to it sufficing that definition.
Super interesting. It's super insightful because it kind of makes me think about, the way that it it makes me think how I can engage different situations now, because we're not always. Sometimes when you think we're open to ideas, maybe we could be more open by not having that attachment. Because I think we live in a world today where I think most of us aren't attached, or are attached. Sorry, are attached, and it doesn't. And I think because of that, it narrows our perspective, which isn't helpful to
Wow.
us, or it isn't helpful to us, or the situation. If that
Right.
makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because as soon as you define something, you limit it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I like to say with the I am phrase, a lot of people want to run around and say, I am this, I am that. And they can fill notebooks filled with all of the I am phrases that they are. But I just say, if you can just say I am and then put a period after that, you're done.
Mm.
And then you don't have to define it and you don't have to attach to who you are. Because what if when I was 25, I was like, I attached to the fact that I walk. And then all of a sudden I got MS and I wasn't able to walk for a month. Like, that could have destroyed me because of the
Mm.
definition I had for myself. I was so attached to.
Yeah.
But by being able to be more detached, I was able to face it without as much fear because even though I loved walking, it didn't define me.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to read this last
It,
line here.
it,
Because she has let go of herself, she is perfectly fulfilled. Thoughts?
yeah. Yeah. So that's a more tricky one, but because she's let go, I guess my interpretation of that, when you let go of, I don't know, the idea that we have of ourselves, because I guess when we have an idea about who we are, we feel that we have to adhere or live up to that. But if we become more of an open canvas, where we're not placing these I can't think of the right word to phrase it. We're not placing it. We're not placing expectations on us. We're being more open to embrace whatever comes our way.
Yeah. And then we can be fulfilled at that moment. Just like when I was bedridden, even though I loved walking, I could still be fulfilled. It wasn't easy,
Mm.
but I could still be myself because I'm not defined by that. Thank you so much. You just went out. I wanted to give you a chance to say goodbye. But if anybody wants to come on and pick a number between 1 and 81, I would love to chat with you. That was so much fun. Thank you, Paul, so much for joining me. I had heard you talk to someone else before, and I really love your ideas and the way you process things. So thank you so much for joining me. Once again, I'm going to be doing the Tao Te Ching chats every week, probably Monday at 2, but I haven't decided, which is why it's not in the title. But I am here and want to have you come on, join me, pick a number between 1 and 81, and let's spend some time walking through what the Tao has for you today. And Paul, if you're still listening, I want you to think about those things because you picked 7. So because you picked 7, that was something special for you today. And this is called the Tao Te Ching. The translation that I read was from Stephen Mitchell, and the Tao Te Ching is I think it is looked at as a religious or a spirituality text, but it translates to the canon of reason. So if anybody wants to come on and give me a number between 1 and 81, let's read the Tao together and see what it has for us. Once again, Paul, you picked number 7. The Tao is infinite and eternal. Why is it eternal? It has never been born. Thus, it can never die. Why is it infinite? It has no desires for itself. Thus, it is present for all things. Paul, I want you to think about that one as well. Like, it has no desire for itself. Thus, it is present for all things. This is the same as, very similar to, because she has let go of herself, she is perfectly fulfilled. So if anybody wants to pick a number between 1 and 81, I want you to join me here on Wisdom and pick a number, and let's go through the Tao together. This is a fun little exercise that I like to do. It's kind of a game, and if you are down to picking a number, let's go find out what it's got for you today. And it's great to be able to have another person to bounce some of these ideas off of, because as Paul referenced, like, wow, that's a lot. Each one of these little short, I mean, some of them are a little bit longer, but none of them are super long. Each one of these little short things is really deep and telling. I had picked 44 earlier today, and we went over those first 3 questions: that fame or integrity, which is more important; money or happiness, which is more valuable; and success or failure, which is more destructive. And I would love to invite anybody out there right now to click that little sleeping cat. If that's a sleeping cat for you, no, it's not. I believe it's a purple thing, and I want you to hit that button. I want you to join me, and I want you to pick a number between 1 and 81, and we can talk about the Tao together. So the Tao is a book that I use throughout my recovery after I just discovered it. And I don't recall how I came upon it, but it's been something that has been at my side for a long time. I have a little pocket-sized version of it that I carry with me. And when I am distraught or when I don't know what to do, if I'm just kind of like sitting there, sometimes I like to open it up and just pick a number. I used to pick a number every morning. And when I would pick a number, I would just take in the information, just take it in. How it comes in and when it comes in is always great. I'd love to invite anybody that's on right now to join me for the Tao Te Ching Chats. Once again, this is going to be a weekly thing, and I want to share the Tao with you. All right, it seems like everything's wrapping up. Everybody's quiet, so I'm going to go ahead and check out. Jose, I really appreciate you trying to get on. Sorry you weren't able to. And if everybody, if there's nobody that wants to come on, I'm going to go ahead and end this. But this is the Tao Te Ching Chats. I am looking forward to sharing more of the Tao with you in the coming weeks, and hopefully we'll be able to connect again. Thank you so much. If anybody is on here and wants to jump on right at the last minute to pick a number between 1 and 81, I'll bring you on. But if nobody does, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you so much for joining me for the Tao Te Ching Chats. This is the first installment of Tao Te Ching Chats, and we'll be doing this every week. I'm going to try and do it Mondays at 2, but until I can secure that completely, I'm going to keep it open. All right. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate your time and attention. Until next time, keep recovering yourself.